on the mass killings that took place in KZN. Let's take you live there.
So the Provincial Commission will answer those, and then the easy one I'll answer. The easy one is that, do we experience the same thing in the rest of the provinces? No. Our history tells us that Western Cape has been the problematic area when it comes to this shooting and multiple killings. For some reason, it has shifted to KZN. KZN has become the most problematic province when it comes to the multiple killings and multiple dead bodies on the events where people are shot. All the time it would have been your Nyanga, your Philippi, and for some reason, as we begin to look the crime stats for last quarter, Western Cape is much greener than KZN, which is more red, which means crime is increasing where it's red and it's decreasing where it's green. So that's why the concentration that we have come back to KZN, as we're giving you the history, we have been here as both ministry and the management. We have spent some time here working with the management. But the arrest, including the last one, Ketiwa, the Provincial Commissioner will give the answer there.
Thank you, Minister. I'm not sure if I got the questions correctly. The specific cases of those arrests that we wanted us to respond on, but majority of the suspects that were arrested, some of them have already appeared in court. Others are going to appear in court before the end of this week. The main ones that were arrested at Richmond, 8 of them. We are expecting them to be appearing in court before the end of this week. In terms of the arrest, the one of the mass shooting of Richmond, I'm not so sure exactly, ma'am, the case you are referring to, but I know of the family where 4 people were killed in Richmond, the brothers, in one house. I'm not sure if that's a case you are referring to.
I'm referring to the case where 5 family members were kidnapped and their bodies were found in a nearby farm in Richmond. Okay, all right. No, that one, the investigation that led into the arrest of the 2, and the courts had some queries in terms of those arrests. They were continuing the investigation again in regard to those matters. The 2 still remains part of the suspect related to that matter, so we are finalizing the investigation for us to be able to bring them back and send them back to prison, to court, sorry.
All right, thank you so much, General. Are those all the questions that have been covered? Okay, we'll take the second row and can be the last.
This question is directed to the Minister. In regards to the firearms that were seized regarding those suspects that were arrested, we've seen that the guns sometimes end up in the hands of criminals again. What is the police doing to ensure that the firearms that you have seized do not end up in the hands of suspects again? Thank you.
Okay, thank you once again, PNK, PWN. And back to the last question, just check. Okay,
Minister, and from just a quick follow-up, Minister. Last year, you saw 2 other separate incidents in Mkhwanazi at W section and also in section. You said you were very close in holding the W section. Just to follow up, has there been any other thing in this regard? Thank you.
Okay, and Minister, we're going to be taking the last question from ECR.
Forgive me if I've missed this, Minister. Just in terms of the multiple shooting incidents you are referring to today, whether they have been arrested, is it at this stage, do we have any inkling of what
the motive behind these? Could have been more. What are we investigating at this stage for this? Thank you.
Thank you, colleague. Minister.
I'm sure your question, Mamdul, is based on the 158 firearms that were found. It's always a pity that the stories are not always told how these things start. We went to the funeral. Israel, I can't remember whether it was Kahris or where our officer was killed. Among those firearms found to have killed our officer was R5. And then the ministry was there, and the minister was talking there. He demanded, the minister, that it must be found out where did the R5 come from, because we all know that they are owned by the police. Certain brigadier in that funeral, together with the provincial PC, were instructed to bring that report. That's how that investigation started. And then there was information about the police station in Northwood, and they moved there. And you know that somebody who was working on this SP13, when he was questioned, not arrested, committed suicide on that one. And then the police followed, and they managed to uncover and unearth all this information. So it's the police that have done, but when people they begin to talk, it's as if by the grace of God these things were found. What we need to do now is to deal with the people that are responsible, which the provincial commissioner and his management are dealing with that, the people. There are 3 senior people that have been identified and will have to answer of how that happened. The provincial commissioner is here. The men responsible for policing of all these police stations are here. It has been one of the top topics with the South African police to say we can't throw these guns back to the criminals. And you know that we had a big problem with Western Cape, where we arrested the colonel who has sold about 2,000 firearms. So that's an area, as the members of the South African police together with the ministry were tightening up, so that consequences are much huger. The protection of these firearms is better, but even the registration of firearms is improved. We know that at the present moment, police have a serious problem when it comes to the registration of the firearms. And we are working on that. We are getting company to put that digital registration rather than the paper registration. So there are efforts that are there. But I fully agree with you. For those that have lost, there must be consequences for those that are responsible. Again, the case of UW and Mkhwanazi case.
Yeah, no, on that, there's been a couple of other incidents that the police are investigating. A certain number of people taken for questioning, and some of the people that have been identified that are on the run, that the team is busy tracing them. So in regard to the specifics of the Mkhwanazis, I think the 2 talking about, we know that of one suspect that is deceased, but the others we're still trying to locate them. So there's not been much tangible on those specific 2 ones. But the investigation is on an advanced stage. We hope that very soon we're going to effect arrest on those as well.
If you read your statement properly, I think the motives for these cases are explained there, the drug issues, people fighting and all those kinds of stuff. But also, your statement talks about the parties. We want to congratulate the Provincial Commissioner for having put some teams dealing with, there are 3 teams here. One will be under Khumalo, that is dealing with political killings that we didn't say anything here about. The other one is under Cele, that is dealing with Phoenix and Verulam, which is doing splendid job. And then this is the one that is responding to this criminal under Colonel Ngobo. So these teams are working very hard and want to congratulate those officers for responding, especially this one of Ngobo, for responding this quick on these multiple killings. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Minister. I think this brings our press conference to a close. I do want to remind our colleagues in the media that the statement is issued out as I said. The statement is issued out as I said, and of course, myself and Brigadier Nhlanhla are available on our phones with that. Thank you so much, Minister. Thank you, Deputy Ministers, and thank you, General.
All right, that was the Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, and his entourage there giving a briefing on mass killings in KZN. That's a wrap from the On Point team. SA Today will have more news for you at 3 o'clock. Have a good one.
This is the Parliament of the Republic of South Africa, where laws are made.
Also a theatre where a shade of political opinions are represented here, who find expression in robust debate.
I also find it odd that when election time came, we could postpone the 4th wave, and now that elections have come and gone, now the 4th wave is coming up.
And sometimes in theatrics.
That led to the Honorable Zulu better way no kuluma kanjani ungamenywanga la sudela indlu man.
Whatever happens, we're always there as the SABC News to give you a front row seat as issues affecting you are being discussed.
The Northern Cape, its people, as diverse as its landscape. We bring you these stories.
We amplify the voices of all cultures, and it's your stories we don't take for granted.
We traverse South Africa's largest province regularly, bring you news of its political landscape, its adverse weather, and how the largely poor and mostly rural people survive.
Now, we not only bring you news of their latest discoveries and how and why they work, but we also put it in a language so that you can understand why it matters to you.
We bring you stories of substance and detail.
The voices of the people are what matter to us. Their plight is our concern.
We sit in meetings dissecting stories. You can trust us as your source of news.
I'm Tapelo Khobuswane, and I bring you material of high quality.
Camera work is our pride in driving great video content, and it must be flawless.
Trust us to bring you information on what matters to you.
Mzansi. Play your part and help curb the spread of COVID-19 by wearing a face mask at all times in public spaces. Avoid physical contact and maintain social distancing. Work from home where possible and stay indoors. Remember to self-isolate if you have any of the COVID-19 symptoms.